Hi guys and girls on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. So the other week I posted a video on removing surface mounted components, I think it was, from a board, and I said don't use hot air on SRBP boards, synthetic resin bonded paper. And now somebody asked why can't you use hot air? Well, I'm not saying you can't use hot air, but it's a very dangerous process, and I'll show you where it can all go wrong. And this is why I never ever use hot air on SRBP. Now, this is what I'm talking about, SRBP, and then you've got your other material. This is fiberglass. So in this video, what we're going to do is first we're going to remove this BGA from this old board. This is actually a fiberglass board, and then I've got this old video recorder here, and we're going to remove one of these processes with hot air, and I'll show you the difference. I'll show you why I would not recommend hot air on SRBP, but there's plenty of other ways you can remove chips from SRBP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the camera on a little tripod. I've set the hot air station. We're running about 380 degrees, and we're just going to remove this BGA. In fact, what I'll do, that will make a good stand, because these are both scrap. That will stand on there while I show the removal of that chip using hot air. Right, so first we're going to remove this chip from the fiberglass board. Right, here we go. Start warming up, get the tweezers on ready. Now this is only a scrap board, so it doesn't matter. And you can see how long here we've got the air on. We've got the hot air on this chip. So you can imagine that this circuit board is now pretty hot. Now this is nearly ready to lift off now. And there you go. That is your BGA chip off. Let's just switch the hot air station off. Right, I'll just pick the camera up and we'll zoom in on that. Right, here we go. So that's the chip I've just removed. Now if we take a good look at that, all that needs now is cleaning up, ready to fit a new chip. In fact, what we can do is we can get a soldering iron and just clean that up and come back in a minute. Right, and there you go. So I've cleaned it all up. That is the chip I've just taken off. So if you were repairing this board now, that will be all ready to fit a new chip, like so. Now let's do exactly the same demonstration with the SRBP. Oh, I'll turn the soldering iron off because it makes a noise. Sometimes if you bang it, it stops. Anyway, forget about that for a minute. So, right, let's do the same demonstration with this SRBP board. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one of these processors. I mean, which one do you fancy? That one there? Let's do that one then. Now, if you look on there, there's a chip not fitted. That will be for a different model. But anyway, so I've got these tweezers. They got a little, I don't know if you can see it on there, a little bit sticking out there, so they will go under the corners of that and lock in, ready to lift it, like so. Right, camera should be focused now. I've zoomed in a little bit. Here we go. Let's take this one off now. Another problem with these is they're actually glued down, so we've got to break the bond of the glue as well. It still doesn't want to move. Oh, let's come off now. Let's get over here. Right, now I don't know if you noticed the chip jumped off. There's a reason it jumped off, and the board's actually delaminated. If we push down there, you see the whole board. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can probably see it there. See, the board is blistered. So now if we try and fit a chip on there, we've damaged the board, and there's a good chance it's not going to sit flat because of that big blister in the board there. And it was that actually pop the chip off. Let me see if I can do another demonstration on something else, something that shows it a bit better. Right, so I've got an old Vestel power supply board here. Let's take that chip off now. Right, well unfortunately I forgot to press play on the camera, so let's take this chip off instead, because I've already taken the other one off now. I'll just stop the camera, set it up, and then we'll take this one off. Right, here we go, camera's focused and we're recording this time. Let's see if this shows the effect better. In fact, let's just warm it up first. Now, you see what's happened there now? Let's get zoom out. Can you actually see what's happened to that? The whole of the board has blistered and it's all pushed up, and that's before the chip even came off. Let's just take the chip off and get the camera to stand there. Right, now can you see what's happened to the board? Very difficult to show this on the camera, but the board's actually blistered and it's come right up, so it won't be possible to sit something down on there flat. In fact, I'll show you with a screwdriver what's happened. If I press down on the board, can you see how it moves up and down? That's because the heat has actually ruined this board. It's very difficult to show this on the camera actually, I don't know why. So you can get a side view. You can probably see there. Right, let's have a look here. Watch this. You can see the effect now on the camera. That board is completely delaminated. Now imagine you had a chip with 100 pins, it'd be virtually impossible to get it sat down absolutely flat because of that big blister that's appeared. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just try warming that one up. We're not going to remove this, we're just going to warm it up and see what happens to the board. See if I can catch it on camera. Did you see that board? Then them resistors just popped up. There it goes. Pop, and it's gone. The board is now completely delaminated. So you can see now it'd be very difficult to get a chip with a lot of pins lying flat on a board that's actually come up in the middle like that. And it's for that reason I don't use hot air on SRBP. Now I'm not saying it can't be done, you might be able to do it, but it's a very fine, if you can do it, it's going to be a very fine line between ruining the board and actually getting the chip off. So what I do when it comes to SRBP, I always try and cut the chip out with a pair of cutters. Now you can buy cutters that will cut between the pins of ICs. They're very expensive, but that is the only way that I remove a chip from something made out of SRBP like this. So let's just have a look at cutting between the pins. So this is what I like to use for pin cutting, Lindstrom. They're very fine. And then we've got this one, a box end cutter. And these set you back about £80. A pair of these ones about £200. But these will actually cut between the pins of the chip. Let's see if we can give a quick demonstration on here while holding the camera at the same time. And you just cut one pin at a time. Let me see if I can set the camera up to do this. No, it's actually very difficult to get focus and get in the video, but that's what you do. Cut one pin at a time like that. And then when you cut them all, I would just, because these are glued down, I'll just take it with a pair of pliers and twist it. Right, I'll give a demonstration with these box end cutters. I'll just make sure I've got all the pins on the other side cut. And that should just twist off its glue now, like that. Get that zoomed. Now where's it gone? There's it got. There it is there. All we need to do now is just clean them up. And if you look at that where I've just taken that chip out, cut between the pins, there's no damage. You just got to get the pins off the board, clean it up. That's the old chip. You can see underneath where it's glued down, and you can see there where I cut all the pins off. So that is my preferred method to removing chips from SRBP. Now there's many other methods you could use. I've heard of people putting a piece of wire under them and heating it with a soldering iron and pulling them. You could always pick one pin at a time with a very fine pointed tool. Let's just try and demonstrate this. I've got this very sharp pointed tool, and just switch the soldering iron off on again. Just hang on. Right, so here we go. This is the 1 pin at a time technique. Put that under there, heat the first one, and then just lift it right up into the air like that, and then move on to the next one and lift that right up into the air, and just carry on along like that. Let me just see if I can zoom in and show you that. Get that noisy thing off. Where's it gone there? Can you see there? You just warm it up and pick one off at a time like that. Or another pair of Lindströms, we can just cut 1 pin at a time and move it up. Like so. So there's lots of methods you can use, but I would not recommend hot air on SRBP. I mean, you might have had a better experience than I have. I wouldn't like to damage something. I'd rather take a lot longer to remove it than try and take it off with hot air. Now obviously if you use the pin cutting technique like this, you're not going to be able to use that chip again. That'll have to go straight in the bin. But if it's faulty anyway, it doesn't really matter, does it? So there we go, guys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. More stuff coming soon. Goodbye.